As most of you may know by now, Trevor Lawrence has never lost on a Saturday. Sounds crazy, but it's true. And this upcoming Saturday will be his biggest test yet as he plays Patrick Mahomes away at Arrowhead. Today, I'll be examining Trevor Lawrence's Saturday record and how impressive it actually is. I will also be telling you why and how this streak will continue. When Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars came back from a 27-point deficit to complete the third largest comeback in NFL postseason history last Saturday, it kept an amazing streak by the quarterback intact. Across 3 different levels of football, in high school, college, and now professionally in the NFL, Trevor is an incredible 41-0 when playing on Saturdays in his career. That obscure stat may be enough reason to bet on Trevor and the Jags as underdogs on the road this Saturday. A victory for Jacksonville will move Lawrence to 2-0 in the playoffs and 3-0 on Saturdays in his professional career. A monumental upset victory over Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs also would clinch Jacksonville's first trip to the AFC Championship game since 2017, where they lost to Brady and the Patriots. But can the Jags really pull this one off? First, let's just break down this 41-0 streak. It all started in 2015 during Trevor's high school career, where he went 3-0 on Saturdays playing for Cartersville High School. Trevor was a 4-year starter at Cartersville High School and made his first start in the 3rd game of his freshman year. He finished his career with a 52-2 record as a starter in high school, including a 41-game unbeaten run and a 14-2 playoff record. His first loss in high school came against Buford High School in the semifinals of the playoffs. They lost 27-3. Buford's defense was one of the best in the state, as they posted 7 shutouts and had given up more than 12 points in a game just twice that season. I did some digging, and that game took place on December 5th, 2015, which was on a Friday. Trevor was also a freshman in 9th grade, so we'll cut him some slack on the loss here. Although, 9th grade Trev got absolutely bullied in this game. I mean, how is this hit even legal at 14 years of age? I don't know, but he got rocked. They then obviously went on a 41-game unbeaten run, and his next loss came against Blessed Trinity Catholic High School. The quarterback Trevor lost to was named Jake Smith, who actually threw a game-winning touchdown pass with just 12 seconds to play to beat Trevor and Cartersville in a second-round playoff game in 2017. Blessed Trinity's 21-17 victory stopped the Hurricanes' 41-game winning streak and quest to win 3 consecutive state titles. It was also the last game of Trevor's high school career. The 17 points were a season low. Cartersville had scored at least 35 points in his previous 11 games and surpassed 50 points 7 times that season. However, this game was played on another Friday. Trevor actually only played 3 high school games on Saturday, all in which were wins, and going into college football at Clemson, Trevor ended up winning a national championship his freshman year and went on a 29-game unbeaten run before losing on Monday, January 13th, 2020 in the national championship game to LSU with Joe Burrow at quarterback. In the 40 collegiate games Trevor played, he won 38 of them, with the second loss coming to Justin Fields in the semifinal against Ohio State on Friday, New Year's Day in 2021. He went 36-0 on Saturdays in college, and going into the NFL, he was 39-0. Obviously, games aren't usually played on Saturdays in the NFL. However, the past 2 weeks, the Jaguars happened to play on Saturday in both games, being win and move on situations. Lawrence completed 20 of 32 passes for 212 yards and a touchdown as the Jaguars beat the Titans Week 18 to clinch a playoff spot for the first time in Trevor's professional career. And then last Saturday was obviously the infamous Saturday win for Trevor. It was the tale of the 2 halves for Trevor and the Jags as they trailed 27-0 in the second quarter. He threw for 4 first-half interceptions, and the Jaguars turned the ball over 5 times in total before halftime. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags looked like an entirely different team in the second half, piling up points and continuing to put together stops offensively. Riley Patterson hit a game-winning field goal as time expired to send the Jags ahead to the divisional round. Which leads us to where we are now, a 41-0 record on Saturdays for Trevor Lawrence throughout his high school, college, and NFL career. And that record will be put to test again as Trevor now faces against the 1-seed Chiefs on Saturday. Jacksonville is currently the largest underdog in the divisional round, with the Chiefs being favored -8.5. And it's going to be Jacksonville's hardest feat yet, as Patrick Mahomes has never lost in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Mahomes currently holds a 5-0 record, averaging a 71% completion percentage, 119.1 passer rating, 327 yards per game, and a touchdown to interception ratio of 14-1, which, by the way, is all best by a QB since 1970 with a minimum of 5 starts. However, it's not possible, as the Jags just set some records themselves, becoming only the 3rd team to win a playoff game the following year from having the first overall pick, joining the 1978 Houston Oilers and 1991 Dallas Cowboys, and moved on thanks to the 3rd largest comeback in playoff history, a 27-point rally, and their 31-30 wildcard round against the Los Angeles Chargers. These 2 teams have already already played each other this season, with the Chiefs winning 27-17 at Arrowhead in Week 10, but the Jaguars put up a decent fight, outscoring Kansas City 17-7 after falling behind 20-0. But since that Week 10 regular season matchup, Trevor Lawrence has essentially matched Mahomes' level of play across their last 8 games of the season. If you compare stats through Week 11 to now, they both obtained the same win-loss record, nearly the same completion percentage, nearly the same touchdown to interception ratio, and at glance, you wouldn't be able to tell a difference between the two stats. On top of that, there are 3 key things Trevor Lawrence and the Jags will need to do in order to pull off a monumental upset to reach the AFC Championship game and keep their playoff hopes alive. Starting off with number 1. Pressure Patrick Mahomes without blitzing. Last season, Mahomes was the least blitzed quarterback in football, as he was under additional pressure on 11.3% of his dropbacks. It's been more of the same in 2022, as he's been blitzed on 21.8% of his dropbacks, which ranks the 4th lowest in the NFL. Standing pat and dropping the vast majority of their defenders into pass coverage is the biggest key to victory, as his 3 losses this season account for 3 of his 4 highest pressure rates without being blitzed, meaning defenses got to him solely using their front 4 defensive linemen. Now, the Jaguars are capable of doing this, as they matched with the Colts with a 32% under pressure percentage and actually ranked 3rd in the entire league this regular season in quarterback press percentage with 37.7%, behind only 2 teams with 12 or more wins, being the Eagles and the Cowboys. The Jags rank 5th in the NFL in pressure rate when not blitzing this season with 33%, and they were able to do it against Mahomes, as they even picked him off in that scenario earlier this season. Leading this group in that department is outside linebacker Josh Allen, who had 68 pressures on the year, which was tied with 2 Pro Bowlers this season, Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns. Now, the second reason is pretty obvious: slow down Travis Kelce. Now, to me, this is going to be the hardest one, because Kelce loves to play when the lights shine the brightest, as he has 6 straight playoff games with 90 or more receiving yards, which is the longest streak in postseason history. How are they going to do this, you ask? Well, it's actually quite simple. I have no idea, but I would just assume double him or something, but I don't know. They just got to do it in order for them to have a chance to win. And the third key point is Trevor Lawrence needs to take advantage of the Chiefs' secondary. The Chiefs' secondary allowed the most passing touchdowns in the league this regular season and the 2nd highest red zone touchdown rate, ahead of only the Indianapolis Colts. The Chiefs also ranked 27th in opposing passer rating with 95.3. The Chiefs' pass defense is definitely beatable, but in order for that to happen, Trevor Lawrence can't commit the same errors he did in the first chunk of the last week's game against the Chargers. If he plays a clean game, Jacksonville will definitely have a chance to win. Oh, and not to mention, this game takes place on a Saturday.